Hi everyone, this is SB, and I'm doing the post game for I Don't Need SFMM5, which I think we definitely do at this point, and some alcohol. I'm also here with other people.
Oh, hi, I'm Iris. I co-hosted this shit show, so we're also here
I'm
with.
Ryan Fletch, the People's Champion, the hidden player that had more posts in this game than an actual player in this game.
I'm Omega / YOLO Swag, and I think I'm still in the Thunderdome.
Shinori, fucking SK Rafa.
Yep, that's me. I'm the SK.
Definitely. Okay, so
Representative. Oh. We have a representative from every faction, including the ITP, and we're just
Hidden
gonna
with
run.
my not clear win condition. Probably
Just
Survivor.
Game, we talk more about the setup, but we'll touch upon it here for a little bit. And player analysis will also be in the written post game. So we're really just going to do a run through of the days.
yeah, basically saying
And
how
I'll
things
talk the
happened,
setup.
which would be kind of hard because it was a long time ago.
This was 2 times longer than the next closest game on the entire website.
Damn.
Days ago.
And
Blame Mikaze.
And then the next ones aren't very close.
Okay,
I don't think that's unfounded either.
It was not particularly close. We'll get to the big post days when we get to those days.
Just realized day one
had reasonable posts.
Day one was reasonable. It was 28 pages.
Yeah.
I mean, that's still a lot. But
and normally it's like less than 20, but it's reasonable in context of this thread.
17 of them of which people didn't realize I was playing. Or I was not playing.
I guess
It's like, why are people voting you?
I got 3 votes throughout the day and didn't show up on Votals, and people kept talking about me as if I was in the game.
I considered putting you in Votals. I didn't. I considered it.
Hey, I mean, if Town want to lynch somebody who's not playing, I mean, whatever.
Yeah.
I just
Okay.
win.
Also, the funniest thing about Ryan in this game was Kirsch immediately starts asking me about a hidden player as soon as he gets his role PM.
Like, so I could use a night action and a hypothetical hidden
He used Paper as his example, though, which was also not good because Paper was the checker.
Yeah.
Who was our checker? So it was like...
Very awkward.
Okay.
Anyway, actual day one stuff. So I thought the main problem with day one wasn't actually from Town, because Town kind of started posting, they posted like a decent amount for a 20-player day one, but not a massive amount, which was good. You guys should have kept that up. So they got this big Town block going of like mostly mutual Town reads, which should have set Scum really far behind, I think. But then they missed Lynch in the end because Athena got out of it, basically.
Athena claimed, and then they're like, yeah, let's just lynch Bartosio. I thought
let's lynch Bartosio for the 9th time.
Yeah. I think, well, Bartosio like always lurks though. So I read his case and like I got it, but I was kind of just like, eh.
Wasn't as bad as the Resurgence Lynch.
I think.
Did Marv have to claim here? Because I didn't think that the wagging, like he did have a small wagging, but I don't think it would have turned on him over Bartosio. So.
No, probably not.
I don't get why he claimed either.
No, Marth did not have to claim.
He's really stressed out, so that's why he claimed, but I didn't think it was like to the betterment of the town for him to claim. So
that's true about like most of the claims in this game, that they weren't for the betterment.
Day 2, where all the claims are just like, why did people claim?
The wagons were actually incredibly close looking back at it. Like 30 minutes from phase end, 30 minutes from phase end, it was tied between Athena and Bart, and then it got swung by Townie. So
it was just like, yeah, let's just consolidate. But like, I'm pretty sure.
Day one.
I think people scum read Athena mostly because his play, like from what I read from Etrian Odyssey, like Mafia, like he was pretty similar. So that's probably why.
Well, it's hard to meta Athena because he's literally never rolled Town.
Okay.
Some good trivia.
Day 1.
Better lynch him day 1 next game.
Polydois is never. So I had Snike on call, and Snike is sad because he could have subbed into like a cool role like Bookie or David. So
Instead of Reinfluch, Town Miller governor again, except for not even the governor this time.
I think one of the sad parts about that role is that like there are a lot of like off-site people, so no one got the joke. So
Depressing.
It was a
Um,
broken rule.
Yeah, I mean, it didn't have the governor part. That would have really pushed it over the edge. It would have been like maybe the fourth worst role instead.
A. So then, night one. So this could have been
Shinari.
like.
Jan Eclipse!
Why? Why?
Do you want to walk us through what Scum was thinking for night one?
Okay, so night one we had a couple of potential kill targets. I don't know why I initially said Jan Eclipse. I think somebody had mentioned to me that Eclipse was definitely something else besides a mayor. But kill targets we were looking at was either Eclipse, Snike, or I think
A
Fable.
low-key one, yeah.
None of
Yeah,
them
Fable
were
would have
good
been
because
bad.
one of them, they would all have been bad because two of those were mislynched.
Well, Fable wouldn't have
Yeah.
been. Fable wouldn't have been that bad because he was down red by everyone, and also like he wouldn't have like revealed you because one he would have been janned, and two
Yeah.
DB's
JB
rolls
was the
sucked
one doing
anyway.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah, JB
it's like, oh no, we lost our rogue.
Yeah. So like I think looking at those kill targets, I think they were decent kill targets. Like you say, Snike would potentially have been bad because he was a mislynch, but I think Snike's lynch was terrible. But
Yeah,
that's
Snipes
on a
were
different day phase.
atrocious.
Different day phase entirely. But I felt like honestly, I felt like he was pretty obvious town after the point in time in which he subbed in.
I think
So-
everyone you considered killing night one got lynched in the end, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fable hammered himself and
Oh yeah, even
Baldrick.
SK got
Yeah.
lynched.
yeah. And as for the whole Eclipse thing, like we had brought up that we could jan him because people were we thought that Eclipse might have something besides just Mayor because that's been a pretty common thing in the past where it's been like Mayor and maybe a one shot something else. Surely nothing too massive, but something. But I had after I had mentioned janning her, I had said I don't think we should because I would like to get JB something he could fake claim, and I had brought that up as an argument. But I guess after I had stated potentially janning Eclipse, everybody else was like, "Yeah, let's jan Eclipse. I think that's the best idea." So I was like, "Okay."
It's a perfect.
Man, it would have
plan.
been a good
I just
idea.
remember SB was like, they're janning the mayor claim, like what? So I was just like, okay.
Yeah, it was more or less like it was brought up. Then I said we shouldn't, and then we did it. It was terrible decisions.
Night actions made sense except for one. You're using Bart, but I guess she didn't like understand that.
That the
More
role
meta-based.
was affected by who you picked.
Never been chosen, and also Ellison's.
I don't think it
action.
was necessarily intuitive. If you don't know everyone who it was, just like, oh, they're these people.
We tried
No,
to
Yeah,
mention
you're-
in the flavor like
Yeah.
anime was the leader because that was probably the most useful thing they could have done.
I'll find out the numbers of the game, but
Yeah, which
um,
we didn't think would be a big thing, but it was, and people thought it would be like 4 scum and 22 players, which
we'll get
is
to that in day 5. Yeah, that's kind of crazy, but
Yeah, welcome to 2010.
welcome to
Um,
Prim's games.
Yeah, that's true.
I thought the only
Till
like really
2010.
weird action was Ellison choosing. We basically just pinged Ellison to just submit an action because he was just like, "Hey, I really have to sub out," and so he chose someone he found scummy, which like doesn't really make sense to me because like the mayor, like if you read his row, you obviously like watched the mayor, like I
Yeah,
don't know. So that was Ellison.
I don't even fucking remember who Ellison was. He was the watcher?
yeah, he was watched around 1.
And
Yeah.
he watched Kirsch because he scum read Kirsch, which didn't like follow.
Oh, Kirsch has a night action. Must be scum.
I agree.
Okay.
So let's
and
touch
then
a
we,
townie.
oh yeah, so then we also subbed in Lord Gaius overnight, but like I guess we have a policy of like when we sub in people overnight, we generally try to announce at the beginning of the day start, which like got people to be like, oh yeah, they couldn't have submitted an action, etc. But like we try to get the previous slot to submit an action if they're going to sub out, unless they're like a total flake.
Like all the sub spec was also really wrong in terms of like why we did it in like the order that we
With
did
Snike
it.
though. So no, we just
Yeah.
the order was basically whoever wanted to sub first. So
Yeah, the only
I just
time it
assumed
was
that's
different
what
was
it
for scum.
was.
day 2.
Day 2.
Was this the one that went to page 80? I think it
He
has
was
to be.
the
Think
yeah.
so.
I'm looking right
Yeah, because the
now.
next one it's like page 140 or something.
Was this the arrival of our Lord and Savior
God,
Mikasa?
why?
I think we subbed
Game
in.
solved.
Game solved.
I'd say about halfway through the day, and then Olet in the last 24 hours. And who else?
And
did we
also
sub in that
Omega.
day? We subbed in Sully as well.
You subbed in me, Mikaze, and Chaos all on the same day, I think.
This is the crazy sub day. Sully came
Impressive.
to save too. So.
So day 2 had a lot of random claims. Like the Jailkeeper who saved the SK Night 1, which like I can't fault them because it was like strictly an optimal choice in terms of kill targets with their role.
They had to claim this one. They didn't know if they blocked a kill or not. And two, I feel like Jailkeeper, like you're the doctor, you want to stay hidden, so it's kind of like
Yeah.
And then Bibbin, I remember, was being generally town read by like a few people, like most people, or like Noel. So like she was
Yeah.
never in the position to claim.
It was very random.
I didn't really understand why she did, but okay.
I think Mac got into a weird position where he had to claim too.
No, Nightmare claimed before Mac came in.
Oh yeah, Nightmare claimed. Quickly.
He was probably going to
That's
have to climb.
But Rafa had
Bibbin claiming was really weird, but I think maybe part of it was just because their martyr had already claimed, so he was fairly safe unless there's a strong man.
Maybe. I
Yeah,
guess they wanted the
strong
protection
man's
chain,
rare.
kinda.
But I think he just
Yeah,
kind of just
sorta.
did it just because YOLO.
Yeah, happened.
This.
That always works out for town.
I mean-
yeah, it worked out really well. They won this. Oh, hold on.
I'm still
Mask
baffled by the
Memoros
fact
on
that
YouTube.
how did Rafa live to endgame? Like
Yeah,
Rafa-
that's part of the reason I was kind
Rafa
of getting a
was-
little
Rafa
paranoid
was
of him.
never
Like, why isn't he
protected.
dead yet?
Any day. So it was like okay.
I
what
think
else
the
actually
claim
happened?
that baffled me the most though was actually Sully's.
Sully got
So
asked.
Sully comes in and Sully was like, I caught Kirsch basically.
Oh yeah.
and then people followed up on it, Refa being one of them. It was just like, yeah, I believe this, let's roll with it.
That would've
Sully's
been
caught
great.
somebody, obviously. I was just like, what the fuck?
That would have been great, dude. You can't deny it.
Gone for the full on fake claim, like I caught this guy.
Like, let's say Kirsch somehow gets turbo
I'm
lynched
Thatcher.
before
I
Sully
got it.
clarifies it.
Man, we should have done that.
Really funny.
This was a
It
sword
would have
that
just
won the
been
game.
like
Would have. So Sully was a genius.
Ahead of his
been a
time.
That's what
genius.
we're-
Yeah.
So
Any other D2 claims besides
Both the
think
Kirsch, the other
so.
networker. But I don't think there were any other weird claims.
nah,
claims?
Just
Yeah, I still think Bibbin was the weirdest claim because
agreed.
the day was doming on day 2? Or is that day 3?
I don't think the Thunderdome
That was day
really
2.
started until day 3.
Yeah, Thunderdome didn't start until day 3.
I mean, it started day 3, but like the groundwork was laid day 2.
Yeah.
Okay.
The other important thing that happened day 2.
You have to build a Thunderdome to do the Thunderdome.
So Thunderdome,
True.
I think, because Mikaze was just straight up tunneling Eclipse on day 2. So
Yeah, but also
Thunderdome.
crazy busing day 2. Like,
Yeah.
probably too far, honestly.
Click all pictures with a bus.
So I'm not quite sure what happened. Like I was already bussing Athena, but I had actually typed in Skype in the Scum Discord that I had labeled 2 of my Scum buddies as leaning Scum, but I was taking them off in like my next 2 posts, and I had Kirsch and Athena up there, which I figured would end up working fine once Kirsch claimed because they're both co-networkers, and I could easily just fail or like fake confusion and be unable to read either of them properly after that point in time, which was initially the plan. And it started at the end of day 2 when Kirsch claimed code networker. I fumbled saying I wasn't sure which one, and then I voted Eclipse. And I gotta say, people gave me flack for voting Eclipse there, not just like voting Kirsch or voting JB at that point in time, because a lot of people said it was really weird that I just didn't vote Kirsch. When I had stated what?
It was
Sorry.
partly because of Junko flipping scum.
Yeah, it was definitely part of Junko flipping scum there. But I think the weird part about it is because a lot of people were saying he said he would vote Kirsch but didn't, and he voted Eclipse, and then he never voted Kirsch again after that. When the whole reason being is I had said I would vote Kirsch only if nothing else happened, and then like as I did that, everybody just swapped to Junko, so I had no reason to vote Kirsch after that point in time, whether I'm Town or Scum Nori at that point in time, because moving my vote from Eclipse to Kirsch does nothing.
I think part of it was that the fact that you voted Eclipse at literally like 4 minutes left or something, or like 5 minutes, I forget.
Hey, I was going off of Snike and Mikaze's turbo train.
The turbo train was Snike was like, let's turbo BBM. That was funny.
Alette
Oh
was
god,
also in on it.
turbo BBM. Yeah, Alette had subbed in.
She also went to David BBM.
Yeah, that's what I mean. She would have been down.
She wanted to David weapons or Snike on or on day 2, but she was like, "Nah, I'll just save it for day 3 when I can read more."
Which was smart.
Oh yeah, she. You were telling me about like how
Yeah, she had read
really
like
wanted to
11
go for
pages,
it.
and she was like, "Can I just shoot?" She's like, "I'm ready to just shoot Snike." I'm like, "Oh my god."
No, she subs in and
Oh,
is like,
God.
I can shoot Warren right now, and nothing can stop me.
Or subbing. That was funny though.
I mean, it's true. Could have been.
Sure. Say Walbury had a very strong day 1, but then like kind of like disappeared like for most of day 2. So
Yeah.
The
Yeah,
game.
day
They're playing
3.
League with us.
the game, yeah.
And for most of the rest of the game.
It ended up happening with like Clash. Like Clash happened. The Clash beta started on the weekend of like day 2, I think. Or
No, it happened before it. He flaked before that.
Oh yeah, he flaked before that. But when Clash hit, before Clash started,
he
he
was
was
well and
practicing
truly
with the
flaked.
team, and
For people who don't know, Clash is like some league tournament thing.
He
Oh.
flaked because of League, so just like Shinori used to do all the time, so he can speak from experience.
But Shinori's improved.
Yeah. The time he played League and didn't flake.
Yeah, so
Night 2.
too. I
League is
think.
killing Mafia.
Oh, okay. So because Sully claimed, this is where Baldrick's like, "Oh crap, I have to use Godfather Ninja every night," and he was asking a lot of questions about it. And then he figured out that the reason he never activated his BPV until endgame was he was asking about a hypothetical, like I guess like motion detector, like what would count, like. So
And
yeah, I
the
think
BPV
so.
would
Like
trigger it.
yeah, so otherwise he probably would have chosen the BPV, and with the hooker dead, I'm pretty sure Baldrick would have gotten lynched a lot earlier.
I think Baldrick should have just killed
not
Sully
me.
Barry at some point. Like
Kill-
I think
yeah.
you should have just killed Sully that
Yeah.
night, and not me.
Yeah, that night. Maybe he wanted to like to clear for one night, but I don't get why he held off too long. I get like for one night, get cleared by Sully
Yeah.
slap. But
I think maybe he didn't do it at that point in time because he thought Mafia was going to kill Beru at some point. Sully/Beru, that slot at some point in time, but Mafia never did.
Yeah. So the funny thing about the SK that night was Eclipse submitted a kill on Shinori for being Mafia. Like, not for being Mafia, but she, like, ninja killed you, I think.
I remember Eclipse. Okay, so she killed Yuri because like Yuri'd figure stuff out or something, and 2 because Yuri had like an eye like problem. Yeah, and so then she was like, "Okay, so I'm gonna kill Shinori because he's the most likely of this, and also because he can take care of Yuri." And I'm like, "What?"
Yeah, she wanted to kill me. I spoke to her about it, and she said she wanted to kill me to prove that there was scum intent on her wagon, and I was the more obvious choice out of the people that were doing it.
That makes sense, but she had to sub out, so we brought in Baldrick, and Baldrick had decided to kill you for being Town.
But he spent the points or whatever anyway, so it didn't matter.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he basically did the same thing as her anyways, but like her part because like
It's reading. It's hard.
Another weird night action was Snake's hijack.
oh my god, Snake's
I don't
hack.
think-
I didn't get that at all.
I
I
still
would have
don't
got
get
it. I would have
That
got it
was
on
weird,
like
but
a different target than Kirsch.
it worked out for us because I don't think that was the weirdest action of the night. I think it was me trying to give cows an item.
Yeah, that was dumb.
Yeah, I was like, no, you guys were like, oh, we can't kill cows because Mac will be on him.
Mhm.
But then let's give cows an item.
That was the thought process literally that went through my head was, okay, guys, I'm gonna give cows this item because that way I can strong arm him tomorrow because Mac will never target anybody except for cows.
What you should have done was just give the empower to Kirsch. Like you could have justified it as a town read, and then strong-willed him with that, and then Mikaze's empower respec would have been genius.
Yep.
I thought another thing you could have done was, I'm surprised you guys never like used the vanillizer earlier, but I guess you're still looking for rolls. But I thought Shinori's first plan would have made sense. Just go for cows to see if he dies, and if not, and then you're gonna give an item to Rafa because like he was crumbing PR since like day one or whatever,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
and which would have like probably been the best.
Boy, an item.
Or I would have died, so you could have used it.
I love town vanillizer.
I'd use it
Town
on the
Silencer
mayor
better.
though, so I'm in.
Town Silencer is a much better role.
What would have happened if we had vanillized the SK?
They would have lost Mayo.
Powers. No, he wouldn't
Just-
have just the powers. Not just the
I had
mayor?
it as like, I just treat vanillizer as like it removes non-factional shit, and I considered his gambling stuff factional.
Oh, so it's an even better role. It doesn't even get fucked up.
That's
by
even
that
more
thing.
OP.
Man, you
No,
fucked this
SB,
role up so
I
bad.
thought, no.
Fuck
SB,
that roll.
SB,
Wait,
we
wait,
talked
are
about
both
it.
hosts confused about how this would have worked right now? Hold up.
No,
That roll-
okay, hold on, let me speak. SB, we talked about how it would interact with the real bomb, and we had specifically gone over if gambling abilities if he had killed the real bomb. So why wouldn't it be the same with the?
Oh yeah, okay, yeah, never mind. Yeah, right.
That roll was stupid.
It was. We'll get to it when it's like a thing.
Rough SK.
Patrick asked that question too. If I got hit by the vanillizer, I answered it with like you would have lost the gambling as well.
Yeah, so
So-
he would have just had like the choose your alignment kill.
That'd be it. Okay. Anyways, I think really tragic night targets. So
It's not my fault that the SK killed Shinori.
Yeah, that was so fucking dumb.
I mean,
I was actually had arguments prepped for going into day 3 to Y-Farm based off of my end of day 2. I don't think I would not have been lynched.
Again.
well,
Could've.
then you died.
Was
was
there anything
baffling.
else?
but they explained it, Walrus targeted Mac instead of cows, but they were like, oh yeah, I totally forgot that. They've been claimed.
This shit is mad confusing to look at because I don't remember who subbed in for who.
I think we've mostly covered night 2 then.
Yeah,
I think so.
probably.
Totally expecting.
So day 3 is like the JB wagon, then JB gets figged by a let out of nowhere.
Hard baited into spending time on a post.
We fully expected him to die. We just didn't know it was going to be David. We were going into the day phase expecting him to be just gone. Yeah,
Mhm.
so like it was actually on night 2 kill we were told we were getting a sub. And Iris had said, we have somebody that's going to sub in. Do you want it for JB or do you want it for Kirsch? And I was like, Kirsch, JB's dead anyway. That was my argument.
Yeah.
I was like, JB's going to be dead. I don't want to sub somebody into a slot that's gonna be
JB had
dead.
said himself too, because
Yeah.
Right.
So
Yeah.
downfall
amazing
of
JB role.
the town kill something. So
so the
yeah, I
rest of the
think
day 3 was Linda Dome, right?
Oh yeah.
and they ended up consolidating on
Good night.
weapons and art, which I didn't think was a bad lynch. I think it made sense.
It wasn't awful. It was just kind
Yeah.
of
I
This
found
top
it
was
weird.
just raw.
Wasn't it Rafa who tried to
There's-
start the Athena counter wagon or
This is
something?
probably, I guess, the time to mention like how much of this has like a after a certain point, posts just have diminishing returns. Like
Yes.
probably day 3 is one that happened like
Day 3
most
and 4.
clearly.
I'd
Yeah,
say
I
day
think-
4.
Well, day 3 is when it happened first, and then 4 was even worse.
Hmm.
But there was just a diminishing. Like no one fucking needs 60 like pages of posts like or whatever. That doesn't actually do anything.
I tried
Was
I
this one
tried
60?
ISOing Mikase post game.
I don't actually
had
know how
40
many
pages.
posts it was.
It was 40 pages long and crashed on page 3, and I'm just like, I guess I'm not ISOing Mikase anymore.
Yeah, just like rapid fire posting over and over, just like you can consolidate the posts into like something more coherent that makes the game more readable. For one, it doesn't like get into the point where you're just repeating things over and over, where it's just like the same things again and again.
It also really blurs what your like priorities are to everyone else, because if you're jumping from person to person to person, then they really don't know like who is your secondary scum read, who else would you want to consolidate on. Like you've probably said it somewhere in your 200 posts of the day, but no one's going to remember the entire content of it. You probably won't even remember all of it.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, I remember.
After a point, you just gotta like, I don't know, make the posts more consolidated, make them more, each individual post more impactful than just, I'm gonna post everything that comes to my head instantly.
Prims is a very good posting style example of how to be concise and still get your points across. I think.
I think there was a bit of a clash culturally. I don't know if it definitely was or not.
I agree.
But I I know on MU and I play there a lot. And I know some of the other cats do too. It's like it was like how this game was. You walk into the thread, there's 20 more pages, and you don't even read that shit, and you just like interact with who's in the thread. I'm not saying it's good or it's bad. I don't know. I just know it added to some of the confusion in this game, and just the different approaches that we saw.
I honestly like that type of stuff though, because they're when there's different play styles, I'm fine with it. I do think there may have been a little bit too many posts in there, but I don't necessarily hate it. I don't. I think the largest issue with there being so many posts and no Flame Makaze was primarily Makaze, because he would say stuff, then he would say I've solved it, I've got it, and then he would turn around and say wait, nope, that can't happen. Let me go and do this one. I got it this time. Okay, wait, nope, change my mind. We're going back to this thing that I talked about earlier. Never mind. Over here now? Okay.
Look, I'm just saying the most succinct quote of the game was, "I've solved the game for the 7th time." And
Spoiler alert, it happened a
that's
lot more
not
than
how
7 times.
solving. That's not how solving works. You solve the game once, or it's not solved.
It was like me and EO. I solved that game.
I think one of the problems was the fact that there are so many pages. I feel like, at least on SF, people and subs generally tend to reread the whole game, which wasn't really like, not like
Yeah.
possible, but like
Not
couldn't really be
feasible.
expected. The subs it was not feasible. Yeah,
I think it
And
was
so-
especially bad because most of the scum died early. So you didn't have scummy
Who
people
came
posting
in?
the thread, you had townies, and so town paranoia kicked in.
like
Yeah.
pretty confused. Like all the new subs that came in who weren't going to reread, and then like Kill was able to be like, yeah, I'm not going to reread any of that stuff too. So
I ain't
But, like-
rereading. I've never read over that shit like that.
but like read like at all. Like the subs didn't read the first like whatever pages before because it was kind of ridiculous to expect that of them.
Yeah, I don't want to fucking reread like a 40-page game. You asked me to sub into this game. I'm so glad I didn't sign up for this game. Well, for one, because people thinking I was a hidden player was really funny. But for two, who the fuck keeps up with this shit, man? I try and like keep aware of stuff when I'm posting games, and this is why I don't play NSE as much anymore, because threads get longer. And this is like the logical extreme of that. Just more shit keeps happening, and it's like, God, why?
Not worth it.
Yeah, I think at the end of the stay phase, who had subbed in? I think we got Barry. Was it Baru? I don't know.
I think we had Barrow at night. Barrow was at night,
Barry
I
at
think,
night.
because
Yeah, I think
Sully set
Barry
in
was at.
action.
Oh, right, because Makaze had Case Sully, and then yeah, it makes sense. Who else came in that night?
Maybe Evan.
Yeah, Evan happened. I think if Evan was more caught up,
man.
he probably would have got a big shot that night because the Martyr was
Oh
like
yeah,
the obvious
he
play.
literally subbed in like 2.5 hours before,
Yeah,
and he was like, "I'm just gonna do Kill because I think Kill's a good player." So I'm like, "Yeah, okay, whatever."
Did all of you guys think he was town?
So Evan probably would have gotten a big shot if he had like read the claims and would have been like, "Oh, of course I'm gonna choose the Martyr." So
yeah. So other things on night 3 that happened. Both the protected roles died.
Oh yeah.
And this led to the where did the Empowerer go?
My God. Well, what if the SK was strong-willed? And then this is where the we had caught Rafer before. This is where the oh my God, it's Rafer the SK actually paranoia started. I think.
What? Why would I say that as the SK?
Okay,
Because
I mean, okay, so
you were strong-willed, and it went through the Martyr, and it was confirmed to be the Martyr there because of Warren.
Like, oh my God.
and we didn't. Okay, so we knew we were empowered. 100%, we knew we were empowered. It was in our flavor. We got redirected to Mac, and we also knew that we had inspected you. You were a roll cop. We had knew that you were like strong-willed or whatnot. And we felt like you were still kind of hanging back. We felt like we felt like you weren't obvious town. You were not getting lynched, but you weren't obvious town. And with the whole Empower thing, we didn't think cows actually used it really. The only arguments we had were either he actually targeted the mayor with it, Baldric, or
Why
he
would you empower
targeted
the mayor?
possibly Refa.
Where would you jam the mayor?
Why would you empower the mayor?
I say the same thing, but I mean, why? We didn't think cows would empower anybody. The only targets there would be for him to empower that night, if he was to empower anybody, was the mayor, the person he jailed, in case they may have had some other role, because that was the person he was jailing, or Refa, who was like one of the only unclaimed people at that time who might have had something useful.
Via was also possible.
Yeah, was possible too.
That was actually what we speculated at first. On night 3, when we were going through our actions, we expected cows to target Via and to empower Via. That was that's what we expected to happen on night 3, and it's in our scum chat. But on day 4, when after that happened, we didn't think he did. We figured if he was going to empower Via, he would have just protected Via.
Yeah. So. This was also the night after Via finally got everyone to claim.
We copped her ass.
Yeah, he just got
his ass.
He just got like it was really funny to see him get roll copped twice, even though I'm pretty sure it was the optimal play.
Because like if inspects resolved last, then yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had to ask that question because like we had inspected Via on night 1, but come this time we knew that he was getting some sort of role, and so he was an unknown again, and we were kind of worried about what it would be, whether it was like a cop or a Vig randomly. So
yeah, I think that's a pretty good thought process because the fact that he had to know everyone in the game, like it requires a decent amount of effort that I would assume if I was scum. Like, yo, there's gonna be a good payoff for this, so I probably would have done the same shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, same.
Okay, so yeah, day 4 happened. This is where all the memes came out.
This is where Thunderdome begins. Wait, was I think Submit Kamikaze was day 3.
Okay, so let's just say that weapons, like posting like, dang, like good luck scum buddies, which is the funniest thing, and Makaze's reaction was like
Death Godfather?
Blaming me for Death Godfather. Which is so funny. He blamed me for including Death Godfather. I was like, what?
Did he really? That's impressive.
Never heard of this before.
The thing is, even if
this is news to me.
Even if you were Death Godfather, why would you claim scum when that flipped out?
Weapons wanted to post again with, oh, I forgot I was Death Godfather.
I love weapons.
He's great.
Yeah, I thought the snake lunch was really weird, personally.
Which was
I think the whole day.
That lunch was
terrible.
I remember Rafer had the pro.
This was also what started making us really believe that Refa was SK. We knew he was roll cop.
That's why you really had to get rid of his vest. This was the confirmation.
I mean, this was the point in time where we were, because before this we were torn between Refa, Omega, and Baldric, and then on this day phase, Refa, who was hard town reading Snike, and we knew was a roll cop, was refusing to claim that, hey,
yeah.
Hey, I'm a roll cop, and that's a Miller. Then, like, it hit, because a lot of people, at first, a lot of the cases on Snike, from what I was reading, seemed large portion of his role doesn't make sense. There has to be a roll cop for this to be in the setup. Otherwise, it's literally nothing. So
no one was like, maybe this unclaimed person is a roll cop.
How is Ryan Fletcher Miller? How is that even possible, the Ryan Fletcher role in an
Yeah,
SFM game?
I think
being
the
a
other
Miller?
problem was that like half of his game was like MU at this point, or more than half, and they're like, why would there be a row Miller in this game? Just because of like the memes, like I don't know. I feel like Snake should have been like literally Ryan Fletcher's been a row Miller or Miller just in every game.
Literally, I've been this role before.
I'm fairly sure we would have made Ryan a
the one that
Miller.
was actually Mafia.
We would have made Ryan a Miller without any cops in the setup. Like, there's just no
Oh, yeah.
other way of doing it.
Something too.
It's obligatory. It's
Um,
part of SF Mafia history. Not even SF Mafia history. It's
yeah,
just SF Mafia history at this point.
another thing I like was kind of sad was that none of the like networks were used like optimally, or like no one used their quick topics.
I mean,
Because talking in quick topics is hard.
we intentionally tried to quick topic people that wouldn't be able to make use of them well together, which is why we also never gave Via a quick topic.
Yeah,
Period.
Via's really good at using quick topics and abusing them.
Like, people thought, I was slightly annoyed at the fact, because like going into the game, I had said before day one like had really even started, I had said, hey, we need one of you networkers to try and have any one of the scum buddies as a town read, so you can quick topic us into quick topic with town. And going in at the end of day phase one, and both of the networkers were reading like all of the other scum members as null or scum.
Like all of you were, though. It was like a huge bussing abomination.
Yeah.
So
Spee would be proud.
Dude, I haven't been super busted for like 3-4 years.
Doesn't matter. It sticks with you.
Like 3 or
It
4
does.
years.
It's like a
I haven't
criminal
been
record.
Miller in 3 or 4 years. Here we are.
Walls was a little more active. We could have seen like him possibly motivating Rafa, who was one of his town raids, but that didn't happen. So
Like day
No,
3.
he oh no, that was, I'm looking at the wrong thing on the sheet. Wait, no, he did motivate Ray for Nightfall.
3.
Oh,
He got
night
quick
3,
topic with
okay.
Rafa.
Yeah.
They got
okay.
quick topic on night 2, so they had a day 3. So I thought this was the phase where the motivator and the row cop would hook up, and then like Rafa could start like getting clears and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would have been dope.
That was really tragic. He ended up motivating Pals, who died.
So another thing I'd say, I had something else to say about the lynch that day. Oh, it wasn't the lynch. It was like Mikaze's loudness kind of drowned out like a lot of players. Like Rafa was on point with a lot of his reads, and then just like was not really.
Anyone noticed Rafa's reads?
Yeah.
Refa was very quiet. He was hanging in the back, which further increased Refa SK.
It
wasn't so loud that I had to hang in the back.
The thing is, like, yeah, he wouldn't have even been quiet. It was just the Thunderdome. Bang bang.
Rifa wasn't part of the Thunderdome. Rifa was just fucking mild rain at best.
Like, I feel like Via getting
I
everyone
don't
to
know how
character
good that
claim.
analogy is.
Via getting everyone to character claim was correct, but I almost feel like of how loud the thread got, that they wouldn't have had to have actually got everyone to do that to necessarily get their cop off. It shouldn't have happened in
Nice.
most game states, but like with how loud people were being, it's possible Via could have gone like completely under the radar and got it, which is a bit insane.
This was the phase of my favorite quote. Every time I make a read, macaque block, and it's like, but that person is town bitch. I scum read all the flip scum. Angry face from Rafa. That was really funny. So I don't remember
Read
responding.
that as
to this.
Moses.
Moses is Rafa.
No,
The
Rafa
meme,
played.
but, like-
Rafa started this game as Moses, not Moses as Rafa. Come on, dude.
It's like a duality, you know?
I think the Thunderdome.
Dude, it's like like starring Rafa playing Moses. Come on, dude.
Like, I want to comment. The Thunderdome was like really bad on day 4. I remember. So
Also, Thunderdome is a shitty name for it, and I feel like we're gonna accidentally like stick onto it. But just call it 1v1. We aren't Mad Max.
Thunderdome.
We're Mafia.
Thunderdome.
I think Thunderdome's really funny for this individual incident.
Yeah, I would
Thunderdome
call
is
it a
this
1v1
game, but if we
forever,
call it
this game-
Thunderdome in the future, I'm gonna fucking lose it.
Well, I hope you get ready to lose it, because I'm sticking to it from now
Yeah,
on.
dude, it's immortalized in my location, bro. Sorry. I'm
I'm
Get
pretty
outta
sure
here.
what Makase and YOLO had was a Thunderdome. It was not a 1v1. So
It wouldn't be on a 1v1.
I'm gonna have a
Just as you go
Thunderdome with Omega.
even further beyond.
They were fighting over custody of their child kill.
I mean, like, SP and I had talked about this. We're just like, wow, they're actually like completely opposite players. So
Yeah.
Omega was like right on things, and Mikaze wasn't.
Okay, it was more than that. It was like Omega was like 100% on like reads and ignoring like
they had a
the-
very strong day 2.
yeah.
Yeah.
Omega's day 2 was like legit. He subbed in. I was like, oh, I think Town won the game.
Nice.
And
That's
then
what I
didn't.
thought when he subbed in too.
and then it didn't happen that way. But Omega
Then,
was
like-
like he was very on point of his actual like play reads early, and then he like never used any kind of roll spec. Like I agree, like the roll
Day
spec
4
in
is
this
where
game
he
is
said
hard.
he
I
get
don't-
pulled
I
out,
don't-
and it was like, look at like their last setup. Like, you can't roll spec this shit.
I think MU does.
I don't think
generally-
it's impossible to roll specs, but at the same time, here is 2018. You can't just rule things out as, oh, this can't possibly be this faction.
I think you can
Oh,
rule
man.
certain things out, and by that I mean like
Mm.
Vigs.
Yeah,
Okay,
Like
you could have Mafia Tree Stump. It wouldn't
No,
be good, but you could do it.
I'm not.
there was
Priest.
at some point in time. I don't know if it was day 4 or day 5. Some point in time around this point in time, though, people were speculating that there was 3 town vidges. I don't
Yeah, but
know
that's
why the
stupid.
fuck people were considering it. People were just going, oh, I think a vid shot Shinori, and we have a day vid and a bookie.
Yeah, people
But
fucking
claim-
lose their
I
minds.
was
at
so-
that.
I was like-
There were 3
I
Vigs
was
in.
so confused.
There were 3 town Vigs in CO2.
Yeah, CR. That's a amalgate. It's an amalgation. I can't even say.
I was
goddamn
like-
word. Abomination of balance.
I was like town self vig.
Kale
Sick
did
roll.
really good this day too, because YOLO, you got hard pocketed, and Rafe is like, let's lynch Kale today, and everyone is like, yeah, no.
Yeah. Yeah, he was playing up his meta for sure.
And, yeah, well, that's what he said in the scum chat too. So I think that Kale did what he needed to do.
Yeah.
I think the fact that Kill was not lynched at day 6 was atrocious because this Rafa case was so bad. Like
It was.
I-
Yeah. It
I
was
feel like people
very-
did not pay attention to like the
Like,
Rafa
Rafa,
case and
it
just
was
kind of
so
like
bad.
glossed over it.
I think
guess we
4
kinda
days of
skip over this stuff.
Thunderdome kind of.
The brains of the townies, just
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
Like,
Like
Yeah.
people are like right like about him being mafia, and then they just backed off, and it's like, wait, this case is really typical. And he's probably town, and like that's not what you want
To be
to
fair,
do.
A lot of the town cases are bad this game too.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah. I
true.
mean, there were so many shitty cases that.
There are too many cases. Like people just post it over and over, and things didn't matter at some point.
And
Wait,
I
none
do
of those
remember,
cases were on me though.
Yeah.
Just every other townie in the game.
Wait, which day are we talking about currently? Day 4 or day 5?
Just in
I just
general.
unrelatedly talked
in
about
general,
D6.
yeah.
So yeah,
Because day
What's the day?
5.
Wait, hold on. Day 4 was the day Fable claimed.
yeah.
Oh,
Well, I
yeah.
mean, day
don't
4
get
we
why
already kind of went over, but and then this
Yeah,
like
it was just like the
glitch was really bad. Then
that
day
Fable.
5, there's not really a lot to say. Like,
No, there is something to say because Town should have lynched Athena, I think, ASAP. We had literally 24 hours, the entire day phase that didn't happen. Scum Chat was talking about what we wanted to do or what we should do the entire time. Like we had thought we might need to just do it out fast, but Town didn't push forth any effort to lynch Athena, so we just took our time with it.
This is day 5, right?
yeah.
Yes.
Also, let's
I
just
mean-
bring up the Watcher thing. Like, that was pretty funny.
Yeah.
Okay.
a lot
Can I just point out-
a lot of weight was being put into Spew. You know, reading back on how the scum interacted and shit, and you know, that really fucked shit up for a lot of the village because Athena was on the block day 1, Kirsch was on the block day 2. I remember he almost got lynched. So basically, the way the scum interacted and then people reading into what they said, it ended up, you know, kind of quote unquote clearing people that should not have been cleared, and then condemning people who probably should not have been condemned. Like I remember Walrein was being pushed for what Shinori said about him or some shit like that. So
I feel like the busing thing should have had less weight come late game,
yeah,
but
for sure.
people didn't reevaluate because it was a 200-page game.
Yeah, dude, by like day 5, bro, my actually after the Snike lynched, I remember I went into my role PM and
You're
I was
like,
like,
this
yo,
village is like the worst village. Like,
yeah,
what is
dude,
that?
I was like, this is the worst village ever. Fuck this village. We're fucked. And I just remember my focus was shot, dog. Like that game was just.
And then the Mafia came along and was like, we are the worst faction. We will run into the claimed Watcher. Yes!
Okay, so
Why did they do that?
I remember
still don't get
okay,
it.
My
so
favorite part. My
okay,
favorite part
so-
about that is that Junko had read the part and just did not bring it up. Like,
yeah, Juko was apparently the only person who noticed it. Okay, in my defense, I was dead. I was not reading 50 to 60 goddamn pages when I'm dead. I was skimming that shit. And neither of the two
Yeah.
people alive were reading it. Athena was like coming in and posting once a day or some shit. And Kill was like, I'm not going back. I'm just Thunderdome, or I'm just like, you know, gonna talk about this Makaze Omega Thunderdome the entire time. So
yeah, I don't think Kill was
nobody
reading
paid attention to it. And it can't. No, the only person who knew it was Junko, and he literally stated in post games like, "Yeah, I read that. Forgot to tell y'all."
It's
I
That's
was
a
like,
bad thing. That's a
Alright.
bad thing to forget.
Can I just
'cause
say
we were
how
talking about
beautifully
it-
on point is his flavor? Just how his like tiny text announcer, how he doesn't get the important things heard.
It was true.
like we didn't think that Baru would target Makaze because we figured
read Makaze
no one's
too.
going to kill Makaze. Why the fuck would you watch him?
Because Makazi goes at Beru, watch me tonight. And Beru
Shinori.
says yes, so.
The
And
thing
I was
is,
so confused.
you may not be aware of this, but killing Makaze blesses you with good fortune.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll do that next time. Night 1.
Shinori confirmed Mafia again. We got it easy next time, lads.
Yep.
Easy. I mean, you
Plan
skim every
T.
game
That'll be
anyway.
his town kill.
Ah, shit.
Exactly.
He's probably Mafia
So-
anyway.
Apparently, this is
Uh,
Makazi's like 5B chess plan, like spam so much. No, the mafia won't even notice his, his plans. That's what
Speak-
happened.
Speaking more about that Athena lynch, like I said, I think Town should have lynched him, but we had thought of this whole potentially fake claiming a thing.
But
But
fake claim would not
this
have
had-
worked.
I
I
think you needed to vary
was
it more.
at work at the point in time. I was at work when it started, and they were about to fake claim this role and
Earlier,
have Kill claim bulletproof vest. And I came in and was like, no, don't do that.
Bro, he would have been
If
like,
Kill
"No."
claims bulletproof vest and thread, this game's over for us.
Yeah,
just-
I also
Let Athena die.
the optimum play was let Athena die. Like you guys,
Yeah.
yeah.
No saving that shit.
Yeah.
You claimed
they-
a rid- yeah. everyone was like, Athena's ITP can't be Mafia. So that was weird.
And then they flipped Mafia, and it's like, wow, there's another Mafia in the game.
This is the phase where everyone is like, there's only 4 mobs left, and I'm like, what?
Why?
I don't know.
It's a solved game.
So the game
Yeah, it didn't fit in with
This is-
their theories.
This is
otherwise.
This is the phase where Blitz had subbed in, and he was doing
my
his
fuck.
analysis,
Refa
and
told
then
him
he got
to
bigged.
fucking-
He fucking died.
And Refa apparently told him to motivate Makaze.
No, he didn't.
Refa,
But then when I was asleep, he said, "Oh, I can't motivate consecutively, so
And
who should I motivate?" I'm thinking Makaze.
he kind of motivated that was like viable was like Evan the bookie.
Yeah.
Yeah. The long run, because he was on, because like what could have happened was the night that Rafer got motivated, it would have been more helpful for Evan to get motivated, because then he could have
What I'm learning here is that
bet on his
Reaper
kill.
shouldn't sleep as much. Just be awake all the time, bro. You missed that shit. You almost missed post game.
Oh, I'll say one more thing about how Athena died. I think getting the SK to shoot Beru was like the best use of it. Like that.
yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, I was fucking pissed at that. I was like, yo, we should have just hammered this dude. That was
Yeah,
such a bitch move.
Yeah.
I don't think it's the
I mean,
SK
it
would have
was a
shot
good move, but
Beru otherwise, because the SK, well, Valtryek was kind of using Beru as his shield,
Yeah.
because they were like, oh, the Mafia won't shoot me as long as Beru's watching me, so.
But what if they watch Makaze again?
Fucking.
True.
Also, Godfather SK.
There were a lot
I
of
don't
things
think
on
that's a
that.
problem. I don't
don't
think
think-
Godfather SK is a problem, but I think
think
the
that's the
overall
problem.
bullshit in that role is a problem.
Yeah.
The only re- well,
I think
the
it's
only
the-
reason I'm bringing up Godfather SK is because both Iris and SB gave me flack for not believing our inspects when literally Baldrick Godfathered every night.
I said that for Rafa
Yeah,
because he had
but
like Rafa's
ridiculous.
role PM would have been like the dumbest thing to give to SK in the world. It was like, yeah, your fake claim is that you are strong-willed, a common SK modifier, and a roll cop, a common scum roll.
Like, did you? We gave you
common
flack
thing
because you
they
really
put
believe
on the
there's no
SK.
town roll cop. Like, just the lack of inspect roles that claimed.
I don't know. It's like saying, yeah, they saw the impulsive part too. They had your full roll PM.
But they thought,
It's
like-
it's like
no,
saying
but
you're a
Scum thought you were
godfather.
compulsive.
Yeah, they misread it.
Yeah, we misread that.
They
That
were
was
the
a
real
BPM
BPM
move.
level reading skills.
I think everyone channeled their inner BPM this game.
I also misread Refa's role PM and thought he only got the first part. I did not actually see the fact that he could target the same person twice to get the second part of the role PM, which probably would have changed my entire thought process on his
A
claim.
lot earlier.
Like literally, I just saw roll cop that only catches first part,
Yeah.
roll cop that can inspect twice and learn, hey, I'm a strong man. Okay, that's probably a town.
So Shinori needs to read, and Rifa needs to not sleep. There we have some constructive criticism.
Good.
Nice play.
Yeah, Rafa was just playing like under the roll power roll to like
What do we say
Power
about
Rosa,
standard?
so-
what's our constructive criticism for Omega? Be at the start of the game so you can solve it faster and get listened to or something. I don't know.
Thunderdome Mikazu. That's for both of them.
Yeah, don't
Uh,
Thunderdome Mikaze. Yeah.
Don't contact the
Yeah.
mods while they're still sending out roll PMs because they'll make fuck ups.
I think
What happened with that?
I'll read the
Okay.
rope PM until we're
yeah.
all done. Let's do that at the end,
Yeah,
so we don't get like
we'll-
super.
yeah.
Okay.
I personally think my biggest mistake this game was I should have stuck to my early reads and just pushed them because I felt pretty confident when I replaced in, and I remember I made a post and I actually showed it to Refa last night. It was like within I don't know like 20 minutes of me replacing in, and I named like all the scum in my post. I named all the scum and then wall rain and then fucking weapons.
Nice.
But you know, my problem was that afterwards I just couldn't reconcile what some players were doing. Like after Snike was lynched, I was like, dude, there's no way all those people can be town. Like that was such a bad lynch in my
That
eyes.
was
You
a
know what I mean?
pure village.
Yeah, that was
So-
fucked up.
And
That's
then
like all village.
Snake
Baldrick.
must let just strike again. Also, Rifa's abandoned us. Everyone who's listening this far and shame him.
Vote
Rafa,
Rafa,
please.
I'm
He was
out.
also late and made us start late too.
Yeah, he made us start late, and then he leaves us in the middle of the. God damn, dude!
Come on,
Fucking,
Moses.
that's fucked up.
Yeah.
Did
Yeah, we
Moses
have
leave
to-
early too?
You want to continue, Omega?
This
yeah,
is him
yeah.
getting stuck for 40 years.
Oh, look who's is he here?
Oh, look who's back.
Okay, so yeah, that
Welcome
was
back, traitor.
my biggest mistake. It was that, and just getting caught up in all the various bullshit that was going on in the town. You know what I mean? Like I would just get stuck on these things and be like, dude, this can't be a townie. But apparently it could. So next time I'm probably just gonna like that's my first mistake. And the second one was like all the association shit. Like I thought Kirsch was scummy as fuck. I remember I tried to kill him at the end of day 2, but they killed Junko, and then a lot of people took Kirsch off the table, or it at least led to a lot less pressure on him because people were like, wow, would he bust like that? Would Junko bust like that? Blah blah blah. So yeah, let's focus on associations for sure.
I agree
That's
that
good.
I agree that he should have been like taken off the table in the short term, like the next 2 days, because it was like a pretty heavy bus. But it felt like no one ever really went back to reevaluate the bus after it happened. So
I mean,
everyone
Yeah,
kind
because
of
going
wrote it
back in
off.
this game was fucking impossible.
No one
Agreed,
went back
but-
to read, and also, we'll say this about Makaze. I think another one of his problems was the fact that he never read the thread straight and just ISO'd, so he lost the context of a lot of things. It's like he was like, "Okay, this person claimed at this time," and et cetera, et cetera. This is a slip, and we're like, "No, it's not." So
And he'd get like timings wrong as well. Like he'd say like when he joined the game
Yeah.
was day 1 and stuff like that.
day
I mean,
one, we're like,
regarding
no.
Kirsch being taken off the table, it's fucking Kirsch, man. Like I've only played with him like 2 or 3 times, but I could just tell he was kind of the bussy type, and I think he was individually wolfy, regardless of associations. And I think you have to stick to that aspect. That's my 2 cents on it.
Yeah, Kirsch and
That's a good
Shinori are
point.
both like bussier than I am.
Hey, I haven't been busting that much in recent times.
No, you
Thank you
bust
very
in,
much.
you like bust in Persona 5, but like you light bust, so it kind of led everyone to.
Well, I mean, also Persona 5 was its own fuck.
Is busing like a big thing here?
Yes.
I'd say it's
yeah,
bigger than other
yeah.
sites I've seen.
I would say it's bigger than other sites for sure. It's been a big thing for a while.
Okay.
SB used to stand for Super Busser at one point.
Yeah, I remember you telling me that. Yeah.
Sensational Bahamas.
Yeah, SB was the ultimate busser, and then we played we were just town buddying the whole game, which was really funny.
Nice.
But
Yeah, so where are we at now?
We're at night 5, I believe.
Night 5.
night 5.
Wait, we
I
just
was
did night
surprised.
5. It's got like Miss Victor.
Cop Baldric, because that was like the one night he didn't Godfather, so you would have gotten his OP row PM, and you would have been like, "Oh shit, we gotta lynch this."
It's like, we sold the game for the 7th time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is the night the MU circle died, so that was probably good.
Yeah.
Because I don't think the MU circle votes for kill and the
Yeah.
for kill.
I
What was
wanted
the
to
logic
kill
behind the
that
alert kill
soon.
again?
She was up down, and we were just taking out off
Yeah,
players.
it's like, oh, the Esk is killing Beru, so it was like, yeah, let's just kill Alette.
Like we were just killing out. Like I wanted to kill Alette or Beru the night previously, but we had to kill Via for obvious reasons. But at this point in time, we were literally just taking out off-town players, so that once we got into these last few day phases, there was people arguing about who is ITP, who is Mafia. There was Thunderdome still alive.
Okay.
Well,
Yeah, I guess it
after
makes
that,
sense.
Yeah.
I was just,
so
at
what-
the time, I was like, they're not killing Rafa. They're still not killing
Okay,
Rafa.
and
They've
then,
had his role PM for 3 nights.
Now, this is at the point in time where
We started to
We
consider
just
shooting him for his vest. That's
fully believed Refa was SK, and we were going to shoot him to get rid of his vest, so that if it came down to late night or the late scenario, we would have an advantage.
Nice.
I fully expected you to
You
shoot
fully
Rafa.
believed in that. You were wrong.
Yep.
Funny if Alette,
Happened.
you had shot Rafa that night, and then except I'm pretty sure if you shot Rafa that night, Kill gets lynched the next day because Alette would have tunneled Kill. So
Yeah.
Probably.
Kill was so insistent on killing Alette that night.
So then day 6. 6 was.
This was
6,
also Baldric copped kill this night. So he was desperately trying to avoid getting kill lynched the next day. Because he didn't think he could win.
Baldric knew
a
you
straight
were knew Kill was Mafia at this point. It was
Yeah.
funny because Baldric's like, oh, there's no way that the other code is probably town, but I'm gonna check it. So.
Oh yeah, Baldric submitted, like, he misunderstood how his role could work, and he submitted legit 7 Align cops.
Nice.
Oh.
And then we was like, sorry, your role does not work like this. It might be broken, but it's not that broken.
it was still that broken.
It was pretty close, but not quite that broken.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have been shocked.
I remember Makaze had the whole like, oh, Kill is Mafia 100%, and then like Kill successfully like pockets him to turn it around in the Baldric. That was actually pretty impressive.
Yeah. I like.
Yes.
Fable Lynch was.
Fable hammered himself.
Yeah, don't self-hammer. That's self-explanatory.
I think it would have ended the same way.
I think he still
Maybe,
would've-
but self-hammering means it can't possibly
I
end
agree.
any other way.
The only reason I think he self-hammered is because it was just getting to a point where a lot of people were getting fed up with it, and they didn't want to continue this game going on longer than it already had.
Yeah.
Like,
People were
honestly, see, the thing is,
tilted.
you have to
Slightly
think.
so. This game
You have
was
to think,
tilting.
if Fable didn't self-hammer, Makaze had stated he was going to hard push Baldric, and then we have to deal with Makaze hard pushing Baldric, and then possibly swapping back to Kill, because for who knows what reason, and then you begin the Makaze
This
cycle.
was the day that Makaze was actually right. So
think-
good on him
Okay,
for that.
Makaze had solved the game by the last.
For the real time, and
I think the thing with
Well, he still thought Omega was ITP, but he was, he had the right targets in
oh
mind.
yeah, he still got them wrong.
He was like, Baldric is Mafia and Omega is ITP, and once we lynch Baldric, we can get Omega the ITP tomorrow. So that was funny.
So
If Baldric had been lynched there, it would have been game over for Scum. So
I'm not so sure.
well, it depends who Kill kills, because if he kills
If he killed Rafa,
Evan, I'm fairly certain he loses. He would have to kill Rafa that day to potentially win, because he'd have to push both
PvP.
Fable.
So
There would be too many. Okay, let me just let's say he killed. There are too many clears, because if Rafa had lived that phase, Rafa would have copped Fable, and he would have been like, "Don't lynch Fable. He's actually real bomb." Fable wouldn't have been like on the table, and Makaze was fairly certain that Omega was ITP and not Mafia, so I'm pretty sure Kill is like the only one left on the
it was
table for
5-1-1 going into the day, right?
Yes.
into
So,
the day.
I
Yeah,
think
so
if you lynch Baldric,
would have to kill Rafa to win, and
Kill
then he'd have to
Rafa.
get.
It goes into 4-1.
yeah, 4-1.
Then he'd get Fable lynched probably.
Yeah.
Which
And
goes to
same with
3-1,
Makaze
and
and
then he
Omega.
shoots
But
But I'm
somebody.
pretty
yeah,
sure
you
at that
got the Thunderdome endgame.
So,
but I'm pretty sure Makaze like would
if Evan shoots somebody though as well, then it just goes down to 1-1, and
Yeah,
he
and he
wins.
can't kill because Kill's BFB. So I think
so.
it was a closer endgame. But I don't
would be a
think it was,
closer endgame, I think.
it definitely wasn't totally
Depends though,
one-sided.
because it's weird because I don't know for sure if they would have killed Rafa because they like
They had to.
they had
No,
they
no,
have
no.
I don't
If
know. It's hard to say.
If Baldric flipped
Rafa,
ITP, we would have shot Refa that night.
Yeah.
making sure because it was not very clear by how you guys are treating Rafa. Like, because Kill was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna keep on pushing Rafa," and I'm like,
Well, I mean, we thought Refa was the fucking ITP.
There were
You
no
gotta
layers
realize that,
left
so-
to can.
If the ITP flips, then we know Refa is a town cop, in which case we're shooting his ass.
I will say that Rafa at one point on night 5 had both of his actions to double cop Fable, which probably would have helped save day 6. But I don't think that was his fault because he was copping for himself. But I think that the fact that everyone else like scum red Fable was a problem. So if he was able to clear Fable completely, that probably would have helped a lot.
The thing is with day 6 is that I think it was like Rafa and Mikaze and Fable against everyone else.
But
And Baldric was mayor and was never going to move his vote because he was the alternate wagon. So it was a really hard lynch to argue out of.
think so, but I think that the problem that Evan knew Rafa was cop and believed it. So I'm saying that if Rafa had a report on Fable, I'm pretty sure they would have lynched Baldric 100% that night.
I agree. I'm just saying, like, the actual day how it went down.
Yeah, the actual day, yeah, I don't think. I mean, I'm pretty sure Omega would not have swapped, and I'm doubtful that Evan would have, but we don't know because the day ended. So.
So then this night we go into it thinking that Scum are going to cross kill on Omega in the most ridiculous fashion possible and throw the game.
Honestly, I didn't.
That
Who
would
do
have been
you think
hilarious.
that Baldric should have killed? Because he really wanted to get into Kingmaker, which I agree, because he probably would have been the lynch the next day. If there was a mislynch, or not, if there was like 5-way, if there was 3 town.
Yeah.
But hard because he was like, are they going to kill Rafa or Evan? So I actually thought they were both just going to kill Rafa, but that didn't happen.
Yeah. At one point, it was the Thunderdome dying together.
Yeah,
really
that would have been pretty poetic.
Still a better love story than Twilight.
Nice.
I think the only way that Baldric wins is if Omega and Mikaze and it's him and Kale in the end game. Like if he kills Evan and Scum kills Rafa, and then it'll just be a Thunderdome. Mikaze pushes on Omega 100%. Because you guys see that post on day 7 when he goes, Baldric the Mafia deserves this over Omega the ITP.
Yeah,
oh, he said that shit?
He sent that overnight to us.
No, he posted it too. That's the best part.
The best, the most I feel like Baldur also just dug himself to like not a sympathetic position on the last day at all either. Yeah. Like he kept like talking like, if I can do all like the most like random post he did, he's like admitted all of his powers for no reason. And he's like, is my role overpowered? It's like,
I just want to say,
yes, your role is very overpowered.
I know it was possible for Town to win following a no lynch, so I really. And I feel like Baldric should have potentially known that, because Evan easily just could have lied about his thing, which is what Evan did on the final day. He lied about having a shot or not.
Yeah, that was smart.
So
yeah,
I do not think he should have claimed ITP or Scum, considering that Town could win following a no lynch.
I think that he should have just claimed, knowing what he knew, because he had the most information. He should have just claimed the Mafia, because
maybe
and then pushed on kill the SK.
I think probably the best of the day would probably Baldric claim Mafia, and then Kill has to also claim Mafia. Neither one of them claiming SK, and then Town has to decide who they lynch or if they no lynch. Which the only way they could have won would have been a no lynch.
Probably still.
Yeah, the only way they could have won was a no lynch, because
what they thought was that the Mafia would not be BPV.
Speaking of which, I just want to comment on this. I felt like it was... I was panicking in Scum chat on the last day, because I felt it was obvious that Scum members probably had 1 BPV, and we had 4 people flipped with no BPV revealed. So I was sitting there just hoping nobody brought it up, and then Baldric brought it up, and nobody cared.
The thing is, it's like... Baldric was arguing, like, anything he could at that point.
France is really bad at that point, yeah.
It's like the Mikaze thing, where you say so many things that what you're saying loses value.
Boy who cried wolf.
Yeah, that's a good way of saying it.
Basically that.
I think it would have happened if it was, like, more SF native players in endgame, because they'd know, like...
The setup's better, I think.
Yeah, that we pretty much always have a BPV.
It's just the day phase where there's like no original member, and then like
Yeah,
we got to fucking...
and like
I forgot that text.
That post.
Do not move.
Oh my god. Baldric has to be Mafia.
Dude.
Omega is the ICP. Like, this is a true love story.
I don't have a problem with Mikaze or anything, but the way that he just like was completely wrong and was very certain about everything was very funny.
Yeah.
Is basically something to take away from it.
I dig that, man. Like he was ready to bring that shit to the end. Like, no, dude, fuck you. You're still gonna lose.
Yeah, we were
I
so.
respected that. Like when Baldric was
I'm
just,
so.
but I
my God,
think Baldric's attitude at the end game was like really fucked himself up, like so badly there, like that he just like kept going on about it. Like I don't think that could have helped at all what he was doing, and then
Like this is the
I
point
don't know.
where you
And then he got like this is something like I felt like his attitude after the game was like not very acceptable, which I feel like is obvious. Like the
I think there
fucking
was
like
only like one
random
post.
Oh
salt.
yeah, yeah, that was
Yeah, like
that
the
was,
don't play on the site ever again. Like shut up, Baldric. Like Baldric of all people who has rage quit a few games himself, so I'm not sure he has the right to call people
Kel
out on
had-
that.
If
He
Kel
was a
had
little bit
every
salty
person
over
it
the
on,
was to
IBM.
Evan too, and I thought
Yeah.
Evan was fine this game. Really, when you take into account that one, it's a completely new meta for him, and
Yeah.
two, he subbed
like-
in with like 180 pages. You know what I mean? Like I cut him a
Yeah,
lot.
that's like not his problem. Like I don't know, like oh you fucking
Everyone was
just like
fine.
being
He was in a
antagonistic
bad
about that is
position.
don't do that, man. I mean, I'm probably not listening like an hour and
I
15 minutes into this, but
I commented on it in the Scum Discord, whereas like when it came in that final phase, and if I felt like Makaze, Evan, and Baldric were just in this three-way like hate each other relationship, and I disliked it. I really wanted the phase just to end so that it would stop, because literally they were just
yeah, Kel
accusing
was
each
just
other.
asleep.
They were just accusing each other of throwing. They were saying, "Oh, well, you throw the game. Well, you're terrible." Blah blah blah.
You
And I
know,
was like, "This
Yeah,
is
that shit
so
sucked.
shocked
Yo,
that
okay,
literally.
what was good? I was really glad that the only thing that Kill posted was just vote Baldric, and then he won.
yeah."
I was really glad. I
That's
wanted
I
to do
exactly
that.
was-
that phase. That was amazing.
I was drunk at the time, so I remember like none of their arguments. So I win.
Read the last day. I just remember it got really salty, and I was like, "Oof."
Yeah, it got very
I just
salty.
want to say, I was really shocked Baldric did not bring up Beru's night actions. Like, I can't possibly be the
The SK.
Mafia or the SK.
Yeah.
I got watched. I have no other action and like flaw in his defense.
Yeah.
So I think he just had a really weak defense on day 6. Like, he probably could have defended himself, like Kill did with Makaze and Rufus, but he didn't.
Baldric had the kind of same flaw that JB had in that he wasn't really much of a thread presence. Which
Yeah,
meant
I
that
think
like
so.
he got town red for interactions, and then when it fell through, he kind of didn't have a leg to stand on anymore. He like played to the crowd well for most of the game, but then you're kind of putting the game
Then he
in
didn't play like
the
on well at the end game.
oh
at
yeah
all.
for most of the game.
Yeah.
And then if you do that kind of play, you kind of gamble on town continuing to throw, which they
Think
did,
so.
but it went past the point that town could throw the game because they'd already thrown the game.
Yeah.
Day 6 is oof. But yeah, the only way Baldric probably would have won is if he killed Evan and the 4-way of Omega versus Makaze Thunderdome happened. So
Oh fuck.
100% sure it would have happened. So
I just like Omega's response. Oh fuck.
Cassie would just be
Another
like,
day of it.
we're voting Omega the ITP on day 7. And then, like, I'm pretty sure Omega just votes him back at that point. And then Baldric just quick handlers whoever Kill votes, and then
Dude, that would have been like the perfect ending.
I think the end game was great. Just, like,
Because then I die twice technically, because I Omega die, and then Makaze, who is Omega, dies. You know, it's just like so perfect.
deep.
It's like a Western ending.
I think the end game was end game. But okay,
Wow.
did anyone
Insightful comment.
Ryan? Are we gonna answer these questions? Makaze, what is my greatest flaw? Oh man.
Greatest flaw is that you post too much.
Probably if you post maybe like a 4th, maybe that's a bit generous, maybe like a 5th of the amount of time you post, like it might be good. What is his greatest strength?
Probably his ability to reconsider shit apart from Thunderdome.
Yeah.
Actually,
Yeah,
Also,
my
I think-
his greatest strength is just that he it's hard to constantly reevaluate everyone. You know what I mean? Most people get stuck in their reads and kind of go from there. But I felt like Mikaze was, he
Thought
was
of every
constantly
possibility. Yeah.
yeah, he was looking at every possibility pretty often.
Yeah.
I think that's a good trait.
Sometimes you just need to put that like
Mikaze's
in your head or in like a thought quick topic. They're really useful if you play like this, I think.
I think one other thing is that I think it's kind of a mistake to try and solve NOC games without imperfect information. Like that's
Oh yeah,
That's
I think there are
not
times in
really
thread
solvable,
when
especially
Makaze
when you
wanted people to
don't
claim.
necessarily know the hosts all that well. But like also in general, I just don't think like it's the correct attitude to think a game can just be solved from, especially as town.
I think you can solve it from late game, but not from
Yeah,
like mid
I
game.
like late game, but not. If you're saying I've solved the game for the 7th time, you've been trying to solve the game too many times before it's appropriate to do so.
Hmm.
Is more what I
I
meant.
mean, was he really saying that though?
Yes.
I think he was saying it like
I know
slightly
he was
ironically.
saying it.
Yeah,
I know
but
he was
like,
saying it, but did he mean it? Because me, like I say, I
but
go and
it
tell my shit
doesn't
all the
really
time.
matter. I don't know about like the actual like conviction of it, but like that's just I think overall it just shows like overthinking things. Like
I see your point. Yeah.
yeah, that's what I mean by it. Like when it comes down to it, that's like a good thing to be able to do is to like figure out the game and all. But when it's too early, that can just throw you off, which I
Yeah.
think happened.
It's harder to catch 3 scum than it is to catch 1 scum, basically.
Yeah.
And also Sully asked the same question.
We never answered Makaze's favorite color. It's
I thought it
definitely
was
blue.
blue.
That's it. Mafia Universe is blue, so I'm pretty sure that's why.
This is deep.
Just like
Rainbow.
Mikaze's ISO.
No one's going to
Oh.
watch this.
We're almost done.
Sully's biggest strength is
I thought his strength was just being obviously town.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's part of like yeah. His tone is very good. Let's go with that. And his weakness is a misunderstanding and claiming too soon, I guess.
Yeah, he was like that kind of came with his very obvious tone, I think, because it was like
Yeah.
this guy's obviously not lying, but he's obviously not thinking things through too much either. Not in like he's not considering cases, but he's not really considering like the implications of what he's doing.
I noticed in this game, it wasn't just Sully, but maybe this would be of value to him. I noticed that a lot of the villagers who got like cased or wagoned or lynched or whatever, they're just like, okay, fuck it, lynch me. Or just kind of shut down. Like when I get wagoned, I'm in the threat slapping bitches, you know what I mean? And I do that because it helps the village in the long term.
Mhm.
And I don't know if you guys saw that, but I definitely noticed in this game a lot of people just kind of felt defeated and shut down when they were wagging.
That's normally not like a general like SF Mafia thing. I think Snike in general is definitely better at defending himself, but he had just gotten out from finals and he was just like defeated that whole like weekend or whatever.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
I mean, shit happens, I'm just
yeah.
saying.
Day 3 was what Arc. Arc is new, so I'm not surprised at how they got hammered. And day
Also,
1 was
a lot of-
Bartozia. That's a meme.
A lot of them were like death tunnel wagons.
These wagons are death tunnel wagons. I feel like a lot of the players that we'd gotten like were very convicted in their reads, and like I don't know, there wasn't a lot of revaluation by some of the players, so
Yeah.
which is probably why Snake got lynched in the end. So I will also say one of the saddest things that never happened is that BBM was going to be David Shinari. I think you should have kept him alive.
Oh,
Yeah.
shit.
We were like actively trying to get a let on voice call of us so we could like hear her reaction because it would have been really funny.
I would have been pissed, dude, if you shot BBM. Like, what the fuck? Hey, at the end of day 2, this was probably the most epic moment of the game when like everybody was like, you had X amount of people like kill Kirsch, and the other people were like, no, let's go Junko. Some people were saying Eclipse, and like everybody was in the thread just playing like tug of war.
Yeah, day
And
two
then-
was still fun. So
Yeah. Oh, day 2 was the most fun of the game, and it was the best town play too.
Day
And
two at peak performance.
yeah, and then I remember I left the thread with like 10 minutes because I was at a guitar lesson, and I was like, "Fuck, man! I hope they kill Kirsch," because I told them to kill Kirsch. And then I read the thread and I opened it, and I saw just like right before Iris posted the flip, Refa like switched from Kirsch to Junko, and then BBM did it at like the next post. So I thought they did it at the same time, like in real time.
They did, basically.
And yeah,
They
and then
basically
Junko flipped
did.
red, and I was like, dude, that was so fucking epic. Like that was the most satisfying moment of the game for me. And I personally thought it cleared both of them, just the way they switched that way.
I thought so too. So I was really confused
they're
why
both. Yeah.
Alep still
Why?
wanted to David BBM.
I can sort of get why she wanted to at D2, but then like after the flip, I was very
Yeah.
confused at why she still wanted to. So it's been really funny because I don't think BBM has ever gotten David. So
Note to self.
the better reaction would have been BBM's reaction to getting David.
Nice.
Um,
It would have
okay,
been great, even though it would not have been good for town, but it would have been great.
I mean,
Shit.
a lot of things this game weren't great for town. What's one more thing?
Yeah, fuck it.
The
Oh.
SK roll.
The Underboys won. The underdogs.
underdogs. Lord Guy
don't think
played a
you're
clean
a-
game. He was the sole survivor. So
Clean game.
yeah, I
Pristine.
think
Clean.
probably.
I just imagine like this one guy standing in the middle of a village, surrounded by all of the dead enemies and dead friends, and like, I have won. This village is mine.
It's like that, but not as good as the ending of SFMM2. The greatest game of all
That's
time.
hard to top.
Now that's a bad balance.
MM2
but it's
was
a
one
great
of the
game.
best games of all time. I'm gonna say that right now.
SFMM2 is the best game ever with the worst balance ever.
Yeah, this game.
Town still won, and we got flamed.
This game unfortunately copied SFM.
I'm so
porn style.
mad that Hayes flamed me for not correctly doctoring someone when Psych literally fucking redirected me off of correctly doctoring someone. Another townie. Come on, man.
Just flamed the whole town. We're digressing though, but yeah, SFM2 is the best game of all time. Just have to say.
Join SFMM5 when I host it, when Paperblade works with me on the setup.
Featuring Mikaze, the insane cop.
Go and just poke Paperblade. He's not doing anything. He
I
should
have
work
to
with
leave
you.
for work for in 15 minutes.
Well,
but
I mean,
I've been
when-
poking him over and over,
Oh,
and he ain't here, man.
Maybe you should
Man,
stab
he's
him
always
instead.
If I have to make this goddamn game myself, I will. And I'm hosting it whenever I'm done with it, and no one's gonna do anything about it. Whenever the game's done and I'm done with it, it's SFMM5 time. I waited for this game for 5 goddamn years, and you're gonna like it.
Okay. I
That
think-
is gonna be the point in time which I start playing League again.
I
I'll
think that's a
say
good
that the one regret I had at the end of this game was that we didn't post the Dear Rapier, You Are Psych the Fool 22 SK and just post that end game flip and leave it like that for like 10 minutes. That would have been really funny.
Correct.
Asking about the what if there's a hidden SK, but like wasn't sure if he was serious.
My God.
You thought Baldric was the SK, but it was me, Psych. Or was it? Were you gonna have it be Psych as the character or Rapier as the character? Oh wait, Rapier was a role.
Rapier was a rose. We are gonna do Rapier.
It would've been Psych.
Yeah.
I thought that one over. As I was saying it, like, oh wait, never mind, that doesn't work.
I think that's everything.
Yeah,
I don't have anything I want to say.
join-
Ending comment.
all my Mafia games, which I'm working on a lot of.
Nice.
Yeah,
Don't do Thunderdomes, kids.
yeah.
This is a really bad example of like SF Mafia meta. I think Persona 5 is a better example if anyone wants to read a game. Yeah, thanks to all our subs. We definitely needed the 14 of you guys.
Damn.
Yeah.
14.
Reminder
No,
that
it
I
was
had
like
more
18 or
posts.
19 subs.
Reminder that I had more posts than at least 3 players in this game.
Yeah. I think the literal non-posters I put thanks for nothing instead of replaced.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, we had the 2 literal non-posters, and I had more posts than Chaos. Moo.
But his posts were good.
That's true, but I had more of them.
Alright, so
I have nothing else to say.
yeah.
Bye.
Thanks for watching if you're still doing it. Doubt it though.
Down with Refa SK.